Hello. Hi, besties. It's a Monday. Hello. Oh my god, my mouse isn't working again. You know what? I'm just gonna steal... I'm gonna steal a AA battery from my partner's fairy lights. Thoughts, feelings, opinions? I'm doing it anyway. If I can open it. Got it. Oh, I think I broke something. Uh-oh. Fine. Okay. Alright, come on. Come on now. Get in there. Oh my god, how do you even close this thing? Hello? Oh, well, first off, the battery isn't in there right now, so that's probably a big reason why. Hi, Wyvern! Hi, bestie! How you doing? Oh my god. Okay, you know what? It's just gonna be open like that. Okay. Stolen AA battery acquired. My mouse is working now. Hi. Oh my god!
Bello.
Hi bestie, it's been a hot minute. Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for the sub, thank you. How am I? I'm a bit tired. I meant to make another cup of coffee before I started the stream, but now here I am. I'm here now. And we're gonna play some Observation Duty 7. If you didn't see, a couple days ago, I streamed the demo of the newest Observation Duty game, Observation Duty 8. And I actually just uploaded a... You like my mushroom thingy? Oh, the... Yeah, I like it too. It's my partner's. Glad you're doing good, bestie. So I actually cut down all of like the pausing bits and like BRB screens and stuff. So that is uploaded on my main YouTube channel if you want to escape the Twitch ads. Otherwise, yeah. All right, besties. I think at some point, this stream, probably when the next ad break is in about an hour, I probably want to make some coffee. So I might do that. This is good timing though, because I am ready to do some gaming, personally. You've got some braces recently, and they've been taking chunks out of the inside of your mouth. I'm so sorry. I got blessed with incredibly good teeth genetics. I've only ever had one cavity, and I've only ever had surgery for my teeth once, and that was for my wisdom teeth. So I count myself to be very, very lucky in that regard. Game capture. Where are you? There we go. There we go. There we go. I am gonna turn the music down just a wee bit. Cause it is a smidge loud. Okay, so what we're doing, I've played this game before. However, I have not gotten all of the achievements, and apparently a lot of them are intruder ones, which are my favorite ones. But yeah, so we just gotta do that. There are hard mode, like complete this level in hard mode achievements. I'm not going for that today. Today, I just wanna try to get some fun intruder ones. And I think there's a siren one, and the achievement said, I can fix her. I don't know where that is actually, though. Maybe I should look up a guide, but I like to do things the hard way. So, also, just as a reminder, this is a backseating friendly game, so if you see something that I don't, please call it out. I'm trying to get these achievements, besties. All right, hold on. I'm gonna catch up on chat. You hated braces, but you also kind of miss them. Yeah, honestly, I think they're really charming. I love when people have braces. You've been taking more than the recommended amount of ibuprofen. But it's okay. But it's needed, so you don't care. That's so fair. That's so fair. Hi! Oh my god, I haven't seen you forever! Why are you on live cam? When did you become real? Approximately 3-4 years ago? Approximately. Yes, we can fix her. You know nothing about this game? Perfect. It's like a spot the difference kind of game. So that's what that is. All right, you know what, besties? I don't think we've... You know, maybe I should look at my achievements. Global achievements. Which levels have I not completed? I have not completed the factory or the spa. Nope, just the factory. Okay, so we can start with the factory, actually. Oh, perfect. Okay, let's play it. You weren't real? I don't think I was real at that time. That was 3 years ago. Well, the video's up on my main YouTube channel, so whenever that was posted was when I, like, face revealed. Sorry. That's, I don't know what is cringe about that, but it's cringe. That phrasing. It's not, it really is not that deep. I just am self-conscious. Okay. But, okay, hold on. Please don't tell me that was over 3 years ago. I don't know. It's been on and off. They've been phasing in and out of reality. Exactly. Exactly, I have. I'm face cam whenever I feel like it. Sometimes I whip out my PNG tuber again. It just depends on the day. Or like if my room is messy. Also, for those of you who didn't see last stream a couple days ago, I moved house. So now my family and friends are so far away from me, but I'm living with my partner now, which is really fun. I'm not really paying attention. The first round of this game is always like me chatting and us not being locked in quite. You must explode. Oh no, don't do that. I was gonna say you've been real for about a year, but I guess it's been a bit more, yeah. Yeah. Which is crazy, honestly. Time doesn't feel real. Really doesn't. Is Millie here? Oh, here, hold on. A brief pause. This is my partner's cat, Millie. She's my cat now. You turned Australian? A yar. No. Maybe it isn't the battery. Maybe it's just my mouse that's shitting itself. Uh-oh. Guys, I don't know if it's the battery. Do you have a VODs channel? Yes, it should be linked in... my Twitch, like, not about section, but like bio section, I guess. I don't know. But I'm not really... You can't really rely on me much. But I did upload the, like, edited down VOD of a couple days ago. Booty Cheek Man! Booty Cheek Man! This is not a family-friendly game, by the way. I forgot to say that. This is a psychological horror spot the difference game. Did this screen change? Probably not. I'm gonna try it anyway. I love the chunks of meat. That's my favorite part. Great. Perfect. I was gonna say something else and then I forgot. That's pretty typical though. I don't think I finished my, my thought. Was this always here? extra object. I'm happy it's sunny today. Yesterday, it was really rainy. Which, I love the rain, honestly. But it's nice to have sun sometimes. I forgot to count the amount of cameras. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on. Ah! Wrong one! Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. We're good. Is there lore to this game or just do stuff? There probably is lore. I don't know the lore though. I think there's like a reoccurring Timmy. But I'm not exactly sure who Timmy is or what he does. You feel like the floor color in the canning room changed? Oh, yeah. Manipulation or replacement? Replacement? No, you're definitely right. Manipulation? God, I never know. You have no way of knowing when the great Minecraft disaster was. Oh, what? Okay, there's no way. Dead body. Oh dear. Oh, great heavens. Where am I? Maintenance. Okay, that was an easy one. No, but I also thought that the floor was a bit weird. Was it not? I mean, out of the options we had, was this one's eyes always like that? I don't know. PC! Was those booty cheeks always there? Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. In the break room? I was right! Oh. Pissy. You gotta splode for work later? Stupid work. I hope work goes okay, though. I applied for a local bookshop yesterday. So I hope this place actually gets back to me. I'm sad, broke, and unemployed. What would this be? Dead body, extra object? Oh, maybe I didn't. You're a librarian? I fucking love that for you. What would this be? Silly me. It's blood. You think the eyes were like that, noticed him, and was like, why does he look like that? You've been applying a bunch and got nothing from anyone except one rejection. Yeah, same. I don't even know how many places I've applied to. And these are like typical retail places, like not even places that like a degree is required. Like, be so for real. Oh, it's dancing. Oh, hello, guy. Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Was this box always open? Manipulation. I'm really not paying attention. Again, just like everything, it's a buffer round. It's a buffer round. Something doesn't feel right. I dislike how quiet it is. It really can't, yeah. Yeah. I am just so lucky that from my previous job in my hometown, I was able to save up a lot of money so that I'm not financially a burden and still able to pay rent and groceries and stuff. So it's not all up to my partner. Because I would never want to do that to anybody. So I'm, oh, hello, my guys. I really hope my mouse isn't shitting. I hope it's not shitting. Did the door change? I really gotta lock in here. Okay, I really gotta lock in. This doesn't seem... Did that always say important? I don't know. No, it's fine. Got it. Oh my god, I'm going to garbage disposal my mouse. Thoughts and opinions. That's not right. You're supposed to be neat. Oops. I changed cameras. Replacement. Hey, friend. Oh, good god. No! This stupid... I'm taking the fucking battery out. I bent my fingernail. I'm taking the battery out. I'm gonna lose... Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. Alright, let me steal another battery from my partner's fairy lights. Let's see if this one works. Also, I don't think we have any more AA batteries. I think it's only AAA. Okay, replacement. Okay, now it's following it. I think we're locked in. I think we're good. Got it. We're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to these. Well, it's all right. We'll deal. But I swear to God, I completed this level. Like years ago. Maybe more like 1 year ago. But I swear to God, wait a minute, that's blood! I almost missed that. But I swear. I finished this level. But in the achievements, it says I didn't, so I guess I fucking didn't. Were those always pallets? I thought that was a person doing the worm. It's a pipe. It's a tube. These are normal, by the way, and it's really weird. I don't like it. Is there a fun cart here? Oh. Okay. Wow. I got like a total of maybe 3 things. I feel like the door looks weird. Also, I decided to do my eyeliner today. I love doing eyeliner. I used to be so bad at it. It was so hard for me to do eyeliner. Since when were these in English? I don't know. Are these tracks different? I don't remember these tracks being here. Looks nice. Thanks, bestie. I'm still not the greatest with it because I have a really shaky hand. But I'm going to moida this fucking mouse. I'm gonna lose it. Okay. Walking in. Easy. 9, 2. Oh, good God. Who are you? Please be an achievement. Oh god. I did it. The optimist. Yeah, there we go. There we go. You forgot how insane this game makes you feel? Yeah. Yeah, it really does. Like I'm always saying, this is like gaslight yourself simulator. I swear to God. But I love it. I love it so much. I've never seen that guy before. That was such a silly man. Something's missing. Is it like here? I feel like something was here. Okay. Guess not. Maybe I should go steal the battery out of something else, because clearly this is not working. I will be back momentarily. I'm gonna go steal a AA battery from something. All right, gang. Good news. We don't have any others. So I guess I'll try the last AA battery in my partner's fairy lights, and just hope. It might actually just be my my mouse. Hold on. Let me see if. Hold on. The little USB thing out. I guess I can't really plug that back in, can I? Ow. Okay, what does this cord go to? Okay, my Elgato. I don't need my Elgato right now. Wait a minute, did I not pause it? Guys, did I not? Uh-oh. I think I just got a warning. Guys. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, you can't look at me. That's not allowed. You're scary. Movement. Oh, fuck. Person movement? Shit. Wait a minute, that worked. Okay, I'll take it. Is this different? Image anomaly. Hey guys. Ew! Horse man! It fucking killed me? Great. Okay. That's gonna be the thumbnail. Okay, I need to do that. Okay. I need a redo. Oh, that was embarrassing. Oh, and that one was fine too. Damn. Okay, there was nothing there. And these tracks are normal. The coffee pot and microwave switched places. Oh. Okay. That was normal too. There's only 3 cups here. Maybe there was an extra object there or something. So I feel like I vaguely remember that. I don't know if any of these, like, buttons will change. I'm not sure. I hope not, because I'm not paying attention to that. Ah! I need coffee really bad. Is this bit up here normal? I don't know. I didn't even notice the crate here. Okay, this one's easy. Easy, easy. Hey, say. I love that poster. You know what would be really fucked? If an extra pipe appeared. That would be really, really fucked. Was there always a bottle here? Surely, right? I don't know. Did these switch screens? Damn it. I think it is the battery. Was this here? This feels different. Thoughts, feelings, opinions? I don't remember this being here. I don't remember that little snack bar being there. Okay, fuck me then. Guess I don't know shit. This is really good for me, I think. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is incredibly inconvenient. You know what? I'm just gonna try it. Itchy nose. I hear a plane. I'm suspicious. I swear to God, this candy bar was not here. You know what? Maybe it ended up disappearing and that's what the anomaly was. Okay. I'm noting that for later. I'm storing it in my brain files.
Hasty.
I can't stop. Oh my god. Okay, we're missing something. Hey, folks, I think we're missing something. I didn't think I would be this bad. I think now is the point where we just start trying shit. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no missing cameras. Hey guys. I have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, no, that's normal. Stop freezing. Oh my god. I think I might need to go steal my partner's mouse. I'm gonna go steal my partner's mouse. You know what? I kind of want to make some coffee too. Why don't we do an early ad break so that they're disabled for like the next hour and a half? Thoughts, feelings, opinions. And then I can make some coffee and get a fucking mouse that actually works. I love this mouse to death. However, I think I should have got a one that had a cord attached because this is just really fucking inconvenient. Here's all the batteries that I tried. There is also a chance that my mouse is just at the end of its life. So we'll just have to see. Okay, I'm going to play some spooky music and I am gonna run an ad so you won't miss anything. And I'm also gonna play some no, I'm gonna get a new mouse. Okay, I'll be right back, besties. I have a mouse that works. I have a mouse that works now. I couldn't find the green one that was just the cord, but this one works, so I'm gonna use it. Thanks, ad watchers, I appreciate you. Okay, I'm gonna pause music, or we can keep playing it. It's up to y'all. If y'all want like a little background music, we can do background music. Or we can just do silence. I have cold brew, and with a little ghost, a little ghosty, you know, for the spooky season. Oh, by the way, me and my whole like online friend group are doing a Phasmophobia stream this Saturday. So I'll like give more details when I am able to give more details, but yeah, so what? That's embarrassing! Y'all! Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we need to fix that. Also, I forgot that I needed to plug in my phone. So I'm gonna do that. Because fun fact, I'm using my phone as a camera. It's a pretty good camera though. Gonna be honest. I do need to move it ever so slightly this way though. Oh dear. Oh, that's too much. Okay. Am I in the center? Yeah, it works. Because I do not have the money to buy an actual webcam right now. So I use my phone. Hello? Okay. Also, apparently there's like a lot of new maps in Phasmophobia. Okay, so there was an image anomaly in here. Okay. I kind of wasn't paying attention to everything else though. Okay, y'all, we really need to lock in.
I see.
There's two here. Wait, hold on. This is normal. Okay, got it. Got it, noted. Noted. I also turned on my dishwasher because I forgot to start it. So I started my dishwasher too. I can hear it running. It's going. I don't know what the image anomaly would have been. Oh, I can see leaves falling. I should have lit, like, a candle or turned on my wax warmer or something like that. That would have been nice. This is hard. I can see why this is the last level in the game. Okay, something feels weird over here. I need some input. Oh dear. So not replacement. Image anomaly? Something feels weird right here. Right here. Manipulation? Extra object? Okay. I'm just gonna occasionally try some screens because I cannot remember the screens for the life of me. Maybe the coffee maker is different. Bro! This is okay. This is crazy. What the fuck is different? What's different? Okay, well, there's a light anomaly here, yeah, but this one is obvious. What are the other ones? Is it this? Is it the folder? Replacement? Okay. No, I feel like that's normal. Were there always 3 coffee cups? Fuck. Oh, blood. Bloody. Bloody. We can't have that. That's no good. Okay. But here, the thing is, it's only 1:13 a.m. and we've already got our warning. So we're kind of fucked in that regard. Is that an image anomaly? Surely not, right? I think that's just a reflection. You can't, I guess you can kind of see it. It's mostly behind my, wait, the chair's missing. Mostly behind my camera. Okay, we got that. That might have been all of the anomalies. I'm not sure about, oh, there's a fucking arm here. You can't, maybe you can, no, you can't see it because it's behind the chat. There's a fucking arm. There's an arm poking out. Hold on. Look at it. I don't know if you saw it. There was an arm poking out. The arm was in the meat bin. Also, that cannot be sanitary. That must have been all of the anomalies, right, though? I would think so. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I don't know why I hesitate on those. Okay, I think these screens are fine. Did this always look like that on the box? Okay, I think I'm starting to get used to it. I think I'm dwelling too long on certain screens. Meat chunk. An arm, poke it with a stick. I should replay Night in the Woods. That was such a fucking good game. Was that a Night in the Woods reference, or were you just saying that? This feels weird. Replacement? Okay, well, that's not what I was clicking, but okay. Oops. I love pressing buttons. Fucking goddamn it! Fuck! Door anomaly in canning line. Oh. Object replacement in break room. And object movement in maintenance. Okay. Okay. Replacement in break room. And movement in maintenance. Fuck. It was Night in the Woods reference. Glad you got it. I am very proud that I got it. I was like, that sounds really familiar. That sounds really familiar. And then I connected the dots. Oh, maybe this up here was replaced? But other than that, I could not tell you. Okay, so there was a door anomaly in here, maybe this. And then in maintenance... Oh my god. My dishwasher's gurgling. In maintenance... Oh, I forgot. I forgot what it was. I don't know. Okay. What was the thing in this room, though? Also, this is apparently fine. I was counting the phones and the mice. The computer mice. This sucks, dude. Okay, let's keep an eye on this. Unless it was also this. I doubt it would... The developer doesn't really do things like really close to the border often. Like, I think it like... Where the screen is, I think that's like the furthest that they tend to go. And not really any closer. Could be wrong. But from what I've noticed playing these games.
Ese.
I haven't really been looking at these much. The counters. And oven. I also haven't been paying attention to these shelves. I've just been kind of looking. Which isn't good. I also need to remember which ones of these are like yellow and which ones are like a gray or black. Oh my god, I need to stop yawning. My mascara is gonna run. I'm tired. I'm EB. You know what? I think I am going to play the music a little bit. Because I think the silence is getting to me. I want it to be quite quiet. Can you still kind of hear it? Or like not at all? Let me know. Oh! Why, hello. Maintenance. box missing? Hear this very, very slight music in the background. Can you hear it or like not at all? I decided to turn the music on just a little bit. Because the silence was making me tired. You can't hear it? Okay. I'm gonna boost the volume just a bit then. How about that? Is that better? I'll do it a little bit more. I'm sure you can hear that now. I just don't want it to be like super, super loud and distracting. But enough to like hear it and get the vibe. Was it move? I feel like there was a box here. You can hear it a little bit? Okay. Should I put the volume up a little bit more, or do you think this is good? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I need a standing desk really bad, but I don't have room in my tiny ass apartment for that. I mean, I guess we have a garage that we rent. So I guess I could put this desk in there. But also, a standing desk is so much money. So, yeah, no. Realistically, no. Unless I'm like ever in my life rolling in cash, I don't know if I'm ever gonna buy a new desk, because this desk works just fine and I really like it still. I got it in high school, I think. Okay, it's the church bells. I was like, is that a tornado siren I'm hearing? or what? It was just the church bells across the street. Fuck. This is bad. This is hard. This is hard for me. Fuck! Oh. Okay, that one's easy. Weren't there more lockers here? Okay. Guess not.
Easy.
I swear, there's something missing here. I swear to God. Is one of these like ever so slightly more open? And it shouldn't be. I feel like this one was more. Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Are you that is fucking mean. That's fucking evil. Oh my God. That was so mean. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna count the cameras. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're good on cams. I feel like there's something missing here. Yeah, there is something missing because there were 4 phones. Right? I'm fairly certain there were 4 phones. Unless there were 3 phones. I I feel like there definitely was one though, right? Okay, guess not. I'm bad at the game. Excuse me. Fuck. This is fucking hard, dude. Did this chair move ever so slightly? Okay. I'm just trying shit. I'm trying shit. I'm at my breaking point. Is there always a pillar here? Fuck. Movement. That's what I was looking for. Oh no! 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 Wait a minute. It did move! It did move! Oh my god. I just did that on a whim. Was that cup on the floor in the bin room with the creepy vending machine always there? Here, I think so, and here I also think so. And also here, I think so. I'm fairly certain. Were these pipes always here? I don't remember those pipes always being there, but I mean, there are some on that side too, so yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, these switched places. Movement. Right? That'd be movement. Did the walls change? Did the walls change in this room? Okay. I lie. Hi, Phoebe. How's work going? I'm really struggling here. You've fought with 2 managers so far. That's great news. Don't look at me. Person movement. I wonder if these are different. Those might actually be the same though. And yeah, okay. Is Millie with you? Yes, she is. I'll show you.
Here she is. The little girl.
Okay, I changed seats. Yeah. I understand. She's been silly. She was yelling at me. Oh, also, by the way, I stole your mouse because my mouse kept, like, freaking out. So I'm borrowing your mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. He's here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Are you laughing or crying?
Hesse. Hesse.
Did this change? Okay. Scary music. Oh god, what just loaded? I don't remember that fire extinguisher being there. Okay. Oh! Oh, I forgot I can't do that. Abyss. Locker room.
We have a friend. We have a friend that joined us.
Boom. Did this wall change? The wall looks different. Okay, guess not. Replacement? I don't remember this being gray. Okay. I guess I just don't know anything. Oh, this was the door anomaly. Movement. Right? I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Did this chair move? Okay. I'm so good at this game. Uh-oh. What? I don't like this. I don't like this. This is scary. Millie! 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 What do I do? That was really gross. Oh my god. I just got the achievement, Meet the Flasher. I hated that. Oh my god. Hold on. No, screenshot. Yeah! I got it this time. Intruder.
I got it.
I got the screenshot this time. Yes. No achievement though. It's really unfortunate that I already got my warning. I think that might be what really seals the deal for me on this round. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're good. No. Horseman! I did it this time. I did it this time. I got it this time. Icky. No achievement! I think I got the achievement the first time. The one that I died on. Damn it. That was a good catch, though. 4 a.m., 2 more hours. I don't know if we're gonna make it, besties. Scary music.
Ese.
Uh-oh. I'm not seeing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck. I'm gonna lose. Fuck. Oh, shit. Damn it! Okay. Object replacement in break room. Missing object in quality room. Quality control. And then object manipulation in locker. Okay. Missing object in quality control. Okay, hold on. Where's quality control? Missing object. What would have been missing? Maybe it was like a vent or something? Or like a button? And then object replacement in the break room. I don't fucking know. Maybe it was like the floor or something. Or maybe it's like some stuff back here that I haven't been really looking at. Also, there was object manipulation in here, and I don't even know what that could have been. Like, I genuinely do not know. Oh, I wonder if these cups can switch. We'll try it. It's so bright outside. Oh my god. I'm like blinding myself. It's nice to have sunlight though. But man, is it hard to see. Okay. Red alert. I haven't seen that one before. That was fun. No, that box was open. Also, I am looking at these now, and I don't think those have really changed much. If they can change at all. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm just gonna try that. Oh no. Abyss in quality control. Was this bloody spot? You can't really see it. Was this bloody spot always here? I don't think the dev would put things that close to the border, but okay. Okay. That's what I thought. You know what game I've been really wanting to play? Is Town to City. It's like Tiny Glade vibes, but like different. I think it's really cute and charming, and I really want to play it. So after Halloween, we might get to doing some stuff like that. We'll see. I've also been really big into Cities Skylines recently, the first one. So it's been really fun to play that. You've never heard of that one? It's really cute. I love it. It's fairly new as well. But it just looks really good, and a few of the streamers and YouTubers that I watch have played it. And it looks really fun. I also added a lot of free games to my library that came out recently on Steam, so we can play some of those. I think a lot of them are like spooky horror games. You don't have money or a job right now? Real me. But I grabbed quite a few because they were in my like recommended indie games for this week or something like that. Something feels different. Did this chair move? No, it didn't. I'm gonna do it anyway though, just in case. Oh dear. It's always when I try something. Toxic gas in the storeroom.
Ugh, somebody ripped ass.
Nasty. But I'm excited to play some of those like smaller indie free games on Steam. Cause I've come across quite a few hidden gems. Some of them are so good. So I'm excited for that. Also, I think my next stream, I'll probably like say this again at the end of stream today, but I'm thinking about streaming this upcoming Thursday, and then Saturday is the Phasmophobia stream with my friends. We do need to figure out mod things though, because we need to download a mod so that all of us can play, because the max is 4, but we want to play with 5 people. And we've heard it's glitchy, but I honestly don't really take it that seriously. Like, I play Phasmophobia for shits and giggles. I don't really play it to be good. You know? I'm just that kind of person with that kind of game. But I have the mod. I still need to test it out to see if it still works with the most recent update. But yeah. So that's kind of the plan for this upcoming, for the rest of this week, I should say. That's fair. Also, apparently, I'm conflicted because the developer of Phasmophobia doesn't really like that there is a mod about it. To add another person, but at the same time, it's like people are gonna mod things for the things that they want and like for quality of life things. So won't be able to be at any other streams because stuff. Oh no. Well, I'm planning on really trying. That's not right. I'm planning on trying to cut down some more of the VODs that, you know, of my streams for like upcoming streams and stuff, I mean. Wasn't that a tube? Maybe that wasn't a tube. But I'm planning on cutting all of those down and editing them and stuff. And putting them on YouTube. So if there are any streams that you end up having to miss or anything like that, those will be up on my YouTube channel. Fuck, what am I missing? And it's only 2 a.m. and I got the Oh god. Oh no. Fuck. Is this an extra one? I don't remember this button being here. I only remember these two. I don't remember that one. Okay. Yes, I'm wrong. Just prove me wrong, why don't you? Fuck. This is really bad, guys. I don't think I've ever been this bad at an observation duty game ever. That might be a lie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no missing cameras. Object replacement in break room. It's the fucking replacement one in the break room. I don't know what is being replaced. Fuck. Object replacement in monitoring room, and then image anomaly in locker room. Okay. Okay. Object replacement in monitoring room. Image anomaly in locker room. What the fuck would have been replaced here? Okay, image was fucked here somewhere. What's the... Guys. I figured out the fucking break room one. So, let me move my face cam real quick. So, right here, I have always... maybe I mentioned it earlier on stream. Maybe I didn't. But for the longest time, I had always noticed there were 2 ovens here. And I thought that was weird, but like sometimes, you know, I mean, like this is weird. That's there. I didn't question it. That was the issue in the break room. So we figured that out. I don't know what the fuck happened in this room though. I don't know what was replaced. Oh, maybe these buttons were replaced by something. This button was here. I never noticed this. Huh. Oh, chug some water. Shit. Thanks. I don't think I've had water all day. I know that's not good. Don't do what I do. I used to be so good at drinking water. And now I'm like chronically dehydrated and I'm probably gonna get a kidney stone very near in my future. Because of how much I drink coffee and how much I don't drink water. My coffee's almost gone. It's really good though. What? Rift? In, oh god, what is this? What is this? Storeroom? Locker room? Break room? Quality control? Canning? Maintenance? Maintenance? It's not maintenance, is it? Oh, I'm gonna die. What is it? What is this room? Storeroom? This isn't the storeroom. What is this room? Storeroom, canning line. I thought it was maintenance. Is it Abyss? I don't think I've ever gotten to that point before. It was Abyss. Oh my god. I thought when it got to that point that you'd just fucking die. I didn't know that you could live from an Abyss. That's news to me. That was a struggle. Is that like that? Yeah. Fucking okay. Coffee gone. No more. I don't remember these being here. I think we're getting I think we're getting the hang of it though. I think we're getting somewhere. No, I think that is fine, actually. I got that one. Hold on, I need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Important. I feel like I vaguely remember a big thing here at some point, so that might be an anomaly. Okay. Just making sure. I feel like I know that this image can change, but I don't know what to. Okay. No extra oven. I think some of the conveyor belts can... No, I think those are fine, actually. I think some of the conveyor belts can go backwards, is what I was gonna say. Forgot that music was playing. I was like, what the fuck was that? The music. Wasn't there something here, maybe? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fuck! What am I missing? Oh my god. Wait a minute. These are pointing to different directions. Is that normal? I could not tell you what's different. No. What the fuck? I feel like I'm going crazy. Now that I noticed the oven one, all of a sudden it's not doing anything. This is like, I think groundbreaking in, oh my god, I'm bad. Movement in canning line. Dead body in storage room? Dead body in quality control? Huh? That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right to me. I don't know about that. Maybe there was one like over in the bin, in the meat bin again. Where was the other dead body? In the storeroom. Maybe it was like here or something, but I swear I swear I didn't see anything. Or maybe it was like here? I don't know. That is hard. I'm gonna put lip gloss on again because my lips are dry. Where the fuck? I just don't understand. At this point, I'm just amazed that I can't get further than like 3 a.m. Also, these exit signs are correct. Interesting. Oh, maybe the image on this is like fucked up. Sometimes that's not what I meant to click. Image anomaly. There isn't anything here. Okay. Oh yeah. I can get down with this music. Oops, didn't mean to do that. These are going backwards. I knew it. I knew it. Manipulation? Because they were already moving, so I don't think it'd be movement. Yeah. There we go. Okay. There's one. I gotta remember to, like, look at these pipes. We have not made much progress at all, and I'm devastated. Also, recently I've been thinking about recording some, like, shorter games and then putting those on YouTube. Oh, hey girl! So, like, maybe some, like, itch.io games, or, like, some of those, free indie games, that I have in my Steam library. I've been thinking about, editing those, well, recording them, editing them, and then just putting them on my YouTube channel, because it's hard to really fill up a stream with those kinds of games, and I want to be able to, like, give proper attention to, like, each game, because I feel like they deserve that, you know?
Hi, Fat Wombat. Hi, Bestie. How are you?
That's an idea, yeah. Plus, then, like, people are, like, can watch it whenever they want and aren't like, oh no, I'm gonna miss it, you know? Plus, I just want to try to upload on YouTube more, too. Okay, I'm really wondering where the frack that fucking dead body was in that room. Okay, I'm gonna try the image anomaly with this. Rotund wombat. Okay, no extra oven. Jump scare. I forget. Did we? This looks different. Oh, it was different. Okay, all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Missing object. Fuck.
Yes,
Fuck, I keep doing that. There are side buttons on the side of this mouse, and I keep accidentally hitting them. And it keeps switching the camera when I'm not wanting it to. Extra object? Something doesn't feel right here. The extra oven is here. Replacement. There we go. Okay, we got that one this time. I can't believe how long it took me to be able to see that one. But it's also hidden by my face cam, so. One, two, three. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm skeptical. Okay, no bodies in the meat bin again. Wait a minute. That's not right. Manipulation? That doesn't seem right. What would it be? Replacement? Okay. They don't unmeat the can. That doesn't make sense. I'm really trying to keep an eye out for some dead bodies. But I am seriously, like, I don't see anything. Oh, my dishwasher's making sounds. Did you like my impression? Wasn't it great? Fuck. No, I feel like that's normal. What if the light switch isn't supposed to be there? Never mind. Is this different? Image anomaly? I'm just gonna try shit. I'm trying shit. Oh, that's different. I remember that one.
yes,
I'm waiting for that coffee pot and microwave to switch places. Because now that I remember that I can do that, now I'm staring at it. I can't tear my eyes away from it. Was this always here? Again, I don't think the What? Dude! Am I doing something wrong? Culprit? Okay, maybe it's culprit. Okay, man. Oh! Meet the wobbler! Yes! We have got quite a few achievements. So, and that was the point of this stream, but I really wish that I was able to actually complete the level. That part, I think, is the most embarrassing part. That one seems like the most straightforward one. However, I seemingly cannot accomplish that. No. I'm still thinking about those dead bodies that I just didn't find. I'm gonna need to, like, go back and, like, scrub the footage to see where the fuck those dead bodies were. Because I'm going crazy thinking about that. I can't stop thinking about it. This puddle was always here. Ooh, there you are. Hi, girl. You're so cute. I love your eyes. They really suit you. These look different. Replacement? Maybe not. Yeah. I can't even imagine this on this level on hard mode. Oi. In about 8 minutes, there's gonna be another ad break. I think I might go make some more coffee and like get myself a snack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then maybe like do another round or 2 more. Ooh, door. Door anomaly. Is the friend gonna show up? Yeah. Tonight, mine and my partner's plan is to find a horror movie to watch, and before they're done with work, they're gonna pick up some stuff for a charcuterie board. So I'm excited about that. If you know me, you know that I'm not too much really like a show watcher or a movie person. I'm more like video games and books kind of person. But still, I still have fun every once in a while. I think I might also crack open a window, cause it's getting a wee bit stuffy in here. Fuck. Fuck! Oh. Okay, it caught it. I thought it wasn't gonna get it because I wasn't following it. What the fuck? What the shit, dude? Ugh, get away, fruit fly. Oh, but ever since we ended up having to turn on the heat recently, because it's been freaking freezing as fuck. What the fuck is different? What the hell? There's no arm here. I don't see anything. Movement, maybe? You haven't watched any shows or films in a while, except... I don't know what that is. Or if you misspelled it or something. Oh! Abyss monitoring room. Maybe the start of the Abyss was one of them. I hope so. What the fuck? Replacement? Oh, we're gonna die again. Come on. Did this maybe change? Fuck! Okay, I'm just gonna take a peek, and then we're gonna go on an ad break. Wow, we've been at this for nearly 2 hours. And still I don't think once we have. Oh, maybe a coffee cup was missing or something, or a phone. Quality control, maintenance. There's something in maintenance going on. Fuck. And then I think an extra object or something in the storeroom? Or a missing object? Oh, maybe there were only 2 pallets when there needed to be 3. Fuck. Okay. I'm going to pause here. We're gonna go do a quick ad break. I'm gonna get a snack. I'm probably gonna pee. And might make some more coffee. We'll see. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna keep the music on.
And I will be right back, besties. Thank you in advance, ad watchers. I appreciate you.
Perfect timing, gamers. I am back. My coffee is a brewing. I decided to go for some hot coffee holy fuck, this time. I wanted to show Millie again. Look at her.
Millie. Hi, baby.
She didn't even make a sound. She just opened her mouth. Okay. So, coffee is brewing. We're still gonna keep some music on. Okay. Let's really try to focus. Okay. Oh, maybe these maths change. I had an applesauce as a snack. It was nice. Or maybe this light disappears sometimes. Fuck, I don't know. I also feel like I haven't seen this area change much at all, which is worrying. Also, the other day I broke a nail, but it got like to the point where if I like tried to take it off myself, the rest of it, it would not end well for me. Got you on podcast mode, so won't be able to help with finding stuff much. Not that you've been helping much anyway. Nice. Slay. Honestly, I do that with most streams that I watch. I'd like put it on in the background and then go do other things while listening to it. I am a busy bitch. So I get you. But yeah, so it's not good. Waiting for a bus in the rain. Well, I hope you've got like cover of some sort. That sounds both nice and not nice depending on your circumstance. Yeah, I've been trying not to really like mess with it much, my nail that is breaking. But it's like not doing well. It's just over halfway broken through like the nail across. It's not good. You got a hoodie and a jacket. You know what? That works. That works.
Hesse.
I thought the room was warping for a second, but I think that was just me breathing. Fuck, I'm bad at this game. Why am I suddenly so bad at this game? Ugh. No, I really need to lock in, like really bad. Really badly, I need to lock in. But it's hard to lock in. I think my coffee is ready. I smell it. My coffee maker doesn't make like a beep when it's ready. I just kind of gotta guess. Cause, oh, for fuck's sake, already a warning and it's 55? It's 56 now, sorry. But what the fuck? How did I already get a warning? Oh my god, y'all. I'm like embarrassed for myself. Is this chair not supposed to be here? Is this an extra object? God, this level is hard. Coffee. I love coffee. I wish it did something for me. Is this extra? Fuck. Oh my god. I might need to like look up a help guide for the— no, that's the coward's way out. That's the cowardly way out. No, only a coward would do that. Oh, I see a dead body. Okay. I see a dead body in the quality control room in the meat bin again. Know that one. Oh, I think... was that tipped over, maybe? Or is it movement? I feel like that box got tipped over. Fuck! I thought I was really onto something. I really thought I was onto something. Oh my god. And I call myself okay at gaming. This is fucking wild. This is wild to me. You started adding sugar to help it do the stuff it's supposed to do, but it don't do much. Yeah, no. Like, I think at most, it helps me sometimes form coherent thoughts. And at the very least, it makes me go to sleep. Like, sometimes, like, an hour after I drink coffee, I'll need a nap because I'm that tired. So, that's really funny. Oh my god. You've got to be shitting me. I fixed one anomaly. Y'all! I fixed one anomaly! Coffee does calm you as well, yeah. Also, I just like the taste of it. It's nice. I don't drink like coffee black or anything, and I don't drink just like straight cold brew or straight espresso and nothing else. I like to add some like milk to it and stuff to balance out the bitterness. But I do really like the taste of it. Okay, object replacement in monitoring room. Image anomaly in locker room again? Object movement in maintenance. Was that not what I clicked? Maybe it wasn't that though. Hold on, let me just quickly check maintenance. No, that was tipped over. What the fuck? Object movement in maintenance? What moved? What the hell moved? Oh my god. This is ridiculous. You think it's an ADHD thing, but you're not diagnosed, but it's possible. Yeah, no, I've heard that it's an ADHD thing too. And ADHD runs in my family. Both my mom and my sibling have been diagnosed with it. I'm not diagnosed with it, but I most likely have it. I'm gonna go grab my coffee real quick and I'll be right back. But I have heard that it's an ADHD thing, yeah. And my grandma, like, she'll drink coffee and then she'll need to like go to bed for the night. And it's really funny. And I explained to my mom a while ago that it's common that can be a symptom of ADHD, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're diagnosed. You should know that." Okay, I got my coffee.
I got my hot coffee.
Also, I can probably only go for like an hour and 15 minutes more for stream because I have to go pick up my partner in like a little less than like an hour and 45-ish. So gotta pick up my partner from work. Then we're gonna watch some horror movies. Hey, what the fuck is the image anomaly, though? What is it? Because I feel like it's not these posters, but I don't know what else would even count as an image anomaly then. Because I've been keeping an eye on them, unless it like changes really subtly. Maybe it's just really subtle. Do you have a favorite type of coffee? Like the way that I make coffee, or like bean type or like roast type? I guess I can answer both. I typically like to have like medium and darker roasts of coffee. And typically, I like my iced coffee drinks a little sweeter, and my hot drinks just like the bean water and milk. Oh, also, I found out recently that I'm fucking allergic to oat milk. For a solid like 2.5 weeks, like lattes, Americanos. Oh yeah, no, I go fucking crazy over just a plain latte. Also cappuccinos, I can really fuck with those. Yeah, those. I'm a milk bitch. I'm a milk whore is what I am. Those are nice, yeah. Did this change? I'm gonna try it. Replacement. I'm trying it. I'm doing it. It's happening. It wasn't anything. I would like to try to branch out and try new things though. But with the autism, it's a bit hard to try new things. Like it was really hard for me to move, like let alone move like hundreds of miles away from my family and friends, whom I like love so dearly. That was really hard for me. It has gotten a lot easier though, since I've moved, which is good. But it's really hard for me to not want to just like order a plain hot latte or like a plain cappuccino. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to though. Wanting to just like, once you like something and you know you like something, you just want to keep at that, you know? I feel like that's pretty common. Unless it's not. Ooh, a horseman sign. Image anomaly.
Let's fucking go.
Do you have a favorite? I should have asked that a while ago, but do you have a favorite wyvern? Coffee-wise?
Pussy.
I really cannot help myself. I can't help but say it. Okay, 1, 2, 3 coffee cups. They haven't moved. 1, 2, 3, 4 mice. 1, 2. Did this phone move? There were 3 phones though, so we're good in that regard. Okay. I really hope that bookstore gets back to me. They don't pay as much as the last job that I had, but honestly, it's whatever at this point. I just need money while I'm looking for a higher paying job. Because at my last job, I was making like 19, nope, not 19, $18 and like 26 cents or something like that. So pretty well. But I've just not, places have just not been getting back to me, where I moved to, which sucks. But again, I'm very grateful to myself for saving up so much money, that I won't be like a financial burden for my partner. I've also never really been a spender. I've always been a saver. Is this the image anomaly? Get the fuck away, fruit fly. Nobody likes you. That wasn't the image anomaly. Oh my god! I got another warning. You're kidding. Did the table move? Did the table move ever so— oh, no, I see it. There's a fucking head in the water container. Would that be— oh, head of operations? You've not been a good saver much lately? Yeah, that's so valid. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard to save. But also, I feel like it also depends a lot on like your personality, because my partner gets a lot of joy out of buying things and like going thrifting and stuff like that. I don't get joy out of that. Like, I don't know, that's just how like my mind and emotions work. I don't get the happy chemical when I buy things. The only things that I really enjoy buying are video games and books. That's it. Oh, the lights are off. The lights are off in the locker room. Oh no. Uh-oh. Ooh. Uh-oh. I was gonna take a screenshot and then I remembered I have another screenshot in— fuck. Can I minimize this? Oh, shit. Okay. Fuck. I'm gonna minimize OBS real quick so I can— okay, I just can't paste it. It's fine. Okay. You know what? It's whatever. It's freaking whatever. Is this the image anomaly? Shit. Is that an extra object? Or maybe it moved? That piece of paper on the floor? Maybe I'll do movement. Damn. Hello? Is that this? That moved? It was! Oh yeah, buying food too, that gives me joy. It's a problem sometimes. You end up buying snacks a lot when you're out. Yeah, I definitely get that feeling a lot too. I completely forgot that food was definitely one of those things for me too. I just love myself some snacks. Or like a silly little meal from my favorite like fast food place. Extra object, maybe? I don't remember there being two there. Here's the dead body. It's behind my fucking camera and he kind of blends into the racks. I found it. I had a feeling it was over in that direction. I was right. I still have no clue what the image anomaly in the locker room was, though. That, I don't know if I will ever be able to figure out without looking it up. Oh, now I'm thinking about snacks. I fucking love snacks. Ugh. I don't think that's it, but I tried it anyway. Yeah, that's what I thought. Is there something missing here? Nope. Great. That's really lovely. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yup. Cameras are still fine. What the fuck am I missing? I do not understand. I don't understand. Bruh. No, not that. Never mind. You realized it may, but just thought it'd be funny to clip it without context. I'll see. It probably won't, but I'll check it out after stream. Really? It is weird if... You know what? I'll just let you know. You're probably fine. Because, like, I know you, and, like, you're... Oh, wait. Is that box supposed to be there? I know you and I trust you in my chat, so I don't think you would be malicious in that way. Extra object. Just fucking try it. Nope. Surprise, surprise, and... I'm gonna lose my mind! I'm gonna lose my mind! Light and maintenance? Fuck! Oh, no, that's totally fine. No, that is totally fine, because it's really funny. Yeah, no, if it's something I say, then, like, 100%, well, 99.9%, it's probably fine. But if someone else is saying it about me and not in the context of, like, coffee, then that's weird. You know? But that's totally fine. That's hilarious. Shit! God, I'm so bad at this game. Okay, you know what? Maybe we just need to switch it up a little. Maybe we should play a different level. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Which one would the siren be in? Yeah. Okay. Let's try log cabin and just see where it takes us. I feel like this is not the one that would have the siren one. It's okay though. Maybe I'll like make a list of the, after stream I'll make a list of the levels that I need to do to like get all the achievements and stuff. Okay. Locking in. I feel like I'm pretty decent at this level though. I feel like I'm pretty okay. While editing, thought, you know what? I'm not gonna give context. Let's make everyone who sees that clip think, what the fuck? Exactly. Exactly. I love doing that to people. It's my favorite activity. Okay. Also, I had remembered that the icicle on the railings can be, and like snow on the railings can be a an anomaly. This is a cozy cabin. I know. I love this level. It's so fun. We also got to keep an eye on the clock. The clock can go backwards. I think right now it's fine. Dog bone. Cup, cup, cup. Bread. I still think these pots are really fucking weird. But those are correct. Those are supposed to be like that. Also, forgot that there's a fucking gun at the top of those cabinets. I also always think this is a person peeking out, like, it's not. It's just the logs of the cabin. No, that's normal. Is this normal? I don't remember. I don't remember that one, actually. I think someone can be in the sauna. There can also be like a couple like intruders or dead bodies here. I don't know if I've gotten those though. Yeah, I definitely should make a list of like the things that I need. Did this curtain change? Replacement? Maybe? It's an American cabin. You really know it. Once you see the gun, you know. Did that trash can get replaced? No? Okay, got it. I'm wrong. Also, this is definitely... Sir. You can't do that here. Sir, you're in a bed and breakfast right now. That's not allowed. Also, weren't there... Was there a missing object here? I thought there was more than one bucket. I mean, more than 2 buckets. Unless the extra one can be an anomaly. I feel like I vaguely remember that. Okay. I'll store that in my brain files then. Yeah. I love this music so much. Oh fuck, I forgot to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1. We're starting at the bathroom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good on cams. Do, 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 do. We don't have a pussy. Did that just go backwards? Yeah, that's going backwards. Okay. I saw it go, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I like this one, it's funny. Were there always 3 eyes on that one? I don't remember there being 3 eyes on that. Okay, I guess there are 3 eyes. I guess that's normal. Hello? Okay. Okay. Did this change? Was this replaced? That face doesn't look right there. Okay. I'm wrong. I'm keeping my peepers. Oh! There's a friend in the toilet. Oops. Intruder. I feel like I remember something over here can be changed too. Forgot what though. You prefer to have... Wait, you prefer not to... I thought you said you do prefer to have friends in the toilet. I wasn't gonna question it, personally. Yeah, no, I prefer my friends to not reek like toilet water. Personally, you know. I'm not judging you if you do. However, I personally just wouldn't enjoy the stink. Maybe this tree could like disappear or something? I think, I don't know, something like that. Oh! I think this key is not supposed to be there. Whoa, crazy. Fuck yeah. Y'all, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good. On cameras. Did the carpet change colors? Also, I don't remember that being there. But I might just be ooped. I need to stop looking at that clock because the clock's not gonna do anything now that we already found that anomaly with it. Wait, did that always say push? I thought that said trash. Maybe it said push. Okay, I think I'm wrong. I think it always said push. Oh my god. I guess it's just not my day. I don't fucking know. Movement? Oh my god. Wait a minute. Maybe... I don't think those cans were up there. What the fuck? I'm wrong? You've got to be shitting me. It's so windy outside. I don't like that it's silent. Never mind. What the fuck? Didn't even give me the chance. It didn't even give me the freaking chance. Movement in kitchen. Extra object in living room. Lights in bedroom. Okay. It wasn't supposed to be there. Okay, the little doily on the coffee table wasn't supposed to be there. Oh. What was the moved object? What the fuck? Okay, I don't know what the moved object in the kitchen was. Oh. I'm not sure what... Was this off? Was the lamp off? I guess so. Or maybe it just wasn't there, I don't know. Or maybe the rug moved, maybe. I was really convinced that these cans were supposed to be down here. I was really, really convinced. Whenever I get to the yard, I immediately look up here. So I remember a guy coming from that way. It's scary. Okay. This cabinet wasn't supposed to be open. This was the movement. The cabinet door being open, that was the movement. Okay. Noted. I'm really trying to use my brain here, y'all. I don't think there are any... This isn't very, like... spooky. Uh-oh. It was playing... Uh-oh. Fuck. That might have just muted my VOD. Shit! It stopped playing the Spotify playlist! No! It stopped playing the Spotify playlist! What the fuck? Oh, that's bullshit. Spotify, if you muted my fucking VOD, I'm gonna snipe you. Oh, I'm kinda pissed. Oh, I'm kinda pissed. I'm like, that doesn't sound like the playlist that I was... Fuck! Yeah, it's true. Damn it! Oh, I'm gonna shit myself. Oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm so scared. Okay. It's okay. We caught it. We're moving on. Rip. Fuck. Wait a minute. Replacement? There's a little guy in a jar. I did it. Perfect. I caught it. Sir, you can't do that here. I always change cameras when he cranes his neck. Is that a shadow? What is that? I'm just gonna try extra object and see where that takes me. I don't know if that little like line shadow thing was always there. Why does it say D's nuts in the corner? What do you mean? It's not like that hasn't been here for years. I think you're like the second person to have ever mentioned it. I mean, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't think this bottle was here. You staring at it last stream too. No, it's just there. It likes to be there. It likes to hang out. I don't remember these being here. All of them. I feel like that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot to have right there. Guess not. Yeah, no, there's nothing there. Yeah. Was this always a tray? I think there was something there, but I don't know if it was a tray. Y'all, we haven't found one in a hot second. Oh, the chair moved. Yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, I have eyes and I can notice things. Pretty impressive. The bread in the toaster switched. You were hoping it said nothing detected after I said that? Ugh. I can't believe you would hope for the downfall of me. I can't believe you would want that. Ew. Sorry. I just felt something on my finger. Oh, that's not right. That needs to be changed. That's not a good puppy. I don't think there are any intruders in this level that I haven't got yet. I think I got all the ones in this level. Unless it's really rare for some reason. Although, I don't know if I've ever seen an intruder in the sauna before. Hello? SMH my head. I love saying that. And then some people just don't get it. And then it, like, the joke falls flat. Oh, I should check the cameras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We fixed. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure nothing changes on me. Did this pillow move? I feel like that pillow moved. Okay. I'm so scared of something coming from over there. It's scary. I'm scared. I'm scared. Maybe the scallop things aren't supposed to be here? I don't remember it. I don't remember it being on one, not the other, is what I mean. Okay, whatever. I'll leave it be, and it'll probably be the death of me. Hello? Would it be manipulation? Did the pan change? Oops. Maybe this would be manipulation. I don't know. What is it? What's different? Oh, y'all. I'm so out of practice. What the fuck? I'll leave it be, and it'll probably be the death of me procrastinating everything. Be like, yeah, no, seriously, me as fuck. Oops, wrong way. Replacement? I doubt it, but why not, you know? Camera malfunction, seriously? That's one of the things that got me. Stupid. 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 Stupid is what that is. Okay, y'all. I think that might be it for me for today. I'm gonna need to do some research into the levels that I need to be playing to be able to get all of the achievements in it. I was not expecting to be this bad. I apologize on behalf of my stupidity. Millie is still here. She's still napping. She's been here like all stream. Damn, girl. Damn, girl. I will probably be streaming this upcoming Thursday. I don't know what I'll be streaming. I'll figure that out. And then on Saturday, like I said earlier, is gonna be the Phasmophobia stream with hopefully some new maps with my friends and my partner. So even though it'll technically be November, that's like gonna be our Halloween stuff. So that's that. I'll probably actually upload this, the Observation Duty 7 one, on my VOD channel. Sleepy car. I'll probably upload this VOD on my YouTube VOD channel instead of my main YouTube channel, just because nothing much really happened, so I'll just upload it there instead of like editing it down and stuff. But yeah, all right. I will see all of you next time. Thanks, ad watchers. Thanks for the subs and everything, and thanks for all the chatting. It's been fun. I'm so happy to be able to have the energy to stream again. It's been really fun. I have been actually thinking about doing a reading stream recently. I've been getting back into reading. And I think that would be really fun. Kind of like a co-working stream. I don't know if y'all have heard of those things, but I've done like a few study with me's in the past when I was in college, but I haven't done one in a while. So might do a morning reading stream on like a weekend or something, maybe on Sunday, we'll see. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate you all. You have been such fun. All right, I'm gonna go now.
Bye! Toodles!
I hope I didn't peak my mic. I'm really loud.
Bye!